Hello everyone and welcome. All around the world, there has been a deep-seated fascination with digital worlds, artificial intelligence, and just how far we might be able to push ourselves as a civilization with technology. There is a franchise that started way back in the beginning when all of these technologies were young, and it has inspired so many movies and even video games. We are going to be revisiting that franchise today. I'm Mike, and this is Mike's After Action Reviews, and this is the rapid action review for Tron Ares. Alright guys, so I don't have a guest, so today we're going to be doing a rapid action review. By the way, let me know if you actually do prefer my longer form videos when I do reviews. But putting that aside, I've got my notes. I'm here, I've watched the movie, we're going to be talking about it, and we are going to be skipping out on some of the things that we usually talk about just to keep things at a rapid pace. So, Tron Ares was released on October 10th, 2025, and I know that I'm a little late. It's the 21st as of recording this thing, but you know, that's life, guys. You get what you pay for, and my videos are free. So, or this one is anyway. So, the production companies were Walt Disney Pictures and Paradox. The movie was written by David DeGilio. Let me know in the comments if you know how to pronounce that properly. And actually, he wrote The Terminalist in 2022, so that's pretty good, and that was a pretty well-reviewed thing. And then Jesse Wigatow, and he wrote Daredevil Born Again. He wrote 2 episodes of it, and that was the series in 2025 to 26. Based on those two, we've got one that wrote something fairly good, and it was a series, and then we've got one guy who just kind of is new. Looking at his IMDb page, he's fairly new and inexperienced, and he wrote 2 episodes of a show that's pretty popular. That's the most popular thing. Okay, and then we have the director, who is Joachim Roning. Because of the way that it's spelled, it has a little slash through it, the O does. So that's either Joachim or Joachim, but I'm pretty sure that it's like Joachim. But anyway, he directed Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales in 2017, and Maleficent, Mistress of Evil in 2019. And normally in rapid action reviews, I don't talk about the things that people, used to be part of. But basically, him as a director, he basically has done... his career has consisted mostly of not great sequels to movies that were good. I mean, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales is when that franchise was past its peak, and the original Maleficent movie was actually pretty good, but then Mistress of Evil was... I don't know. Lukewarm at best. The music was by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, who you may actually also know as the leads from 9 Inch Nails. So the whole music of this movie was 9 Inch Nails, so that's awesome. For the cast, we have Jared Leto, who plays Ares, Greta Lee, who plays Eve Kim, Jeff Bridges, who plays Kevin Flynn, he's reprising his role, Jodie Turner-Smith, who plays Athena, Gillian Anderson playing Elizabeth Dillinger, and Evan Peters, who plays Julian Dillinger. So as far as the production here, we've got kind of, in my opinion, just looking at it objectively, kind of like looking at the statistics here, we've got a mediocre director. We've got the guy from The Terminalist. It seems like he would be a solid writer, but he hasn't written any really big movies. And then we've got Jesse Wigatow, who basically, or Wigutow, Wigutow, and he wrote 2 episodes of a show that was, I've heard it was actually pretty good, but not as good as the original Daredevil series on Netflix. Greta Lee playing Eve Kim, not anybody that I've ever heard of. Okay, and definitely not anything big. Jodie Turner-Smith has kind of been a sort of an A-B list actor for a while. She's played some good stuff in some good stuff, but was never a main role. So this could kind of be like, you know, every role for her in the future could be her breakout role, and she could be big, but she's not like a huge actress right now. So as far as the production, the actors though are pretty solid, and the actual production is kind of mid. Just looking at the statistics without actually looking at how the movie goes. Okay, so then looking at it though, so I'd say that's like an average team. Okay, maybe above average because of the actors. But then moving on into the plot. So there is some potential here. Let's move on to the plot though. So the runtime, according to IMDb, is 1 hour and 59 minutes long. I did not feel like that was too long. There were not parts, to me anyway, that were dragged on as far as like feeling like we're, you know, watching something that's moving a little too slow. So I think that the pacing was actually done well in the movie. The IMDb plot summary is that it's as follows here. A highly sophisticated program, Ares, is sent from the digital world into the real world on a dangerous mission. Well, that's very nondescript. What it's actually about, and this is no spoiler, you literally learn this immediately, is that NCOM from the original Tron and the sequel, Tron Legacy, which is run by Eve Kim, and Dillinger Systems, run by Julian Dillinger, who is the grandson of Dillinger from the original Tron as well. These are two competing companies trying to figure out how to bring programs from the grid to the real world and allow them to be in the real world without degrading, which is a problem that they're having. So they're kind of able to do this right now, but they degrade over time. Ares and Athena are two of the military programs that are created by Dillinger Systems. So the story is not great, okay, but it is not bad. Nothing profound is really said here in this story. It kind of gets you from point A to point B, but to be honest with you, that's a little bit disappointing because actually the idea here was actually pretty good, and I'm going to get into that here in a second. But yeah, so I think that the story itself and the way that it plays out wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. It was kind of mid, which is going to reflect in my final statement here. So moving into my final statement and review score, along with my sustains and improves. So starting with sustains. Programs in the real world, as I just said a second ago, is a great idea for the progression of the movie series. So in the first movie, we have the basically discovering that programs are like people and they live within a digital world. And what you have to realize, if I could just maybe take a little bit of time here to explain this to you guys, is that when that first came out, there was no The Matrix. There was no Tron before this. There weren't movies where inside computers there was a concept that inside computers there could be people that have jobs and their programs, but they work like people having jobs and performing functions. That kind of stuff did not happen. The idea of your emotions, like for instance Inside Out 2 just came out recently, your emotions being inside your head as they're independent people trying to perform certain functions that help you live. Those kinds of ideas all kind of come back to and were probably partially inspired by or took inspiration from something that was inspired by Tron, where they kind of get into this here. So this is, you have to realize how groundbreaking that was. So then when Tron Legacy came out, so we discovered this digital world. Then when Tron Legacy came out, we kind of carried off the back of that by going back into this digital world and finding its creator, Flynn. And now the natural progression from that, in my opinion, the perfect natural progression is, well, let's bring some of the programs out into the real world. Awesome natural progression. Great sustain. There are some fun action scenes in this movie. That's my second sustain. Some really great action scenes, not a whole lot of, like the shaky cam with lots of cuts. I think the action was pretty good. And then there are some really pretty cool visuals. You see some of it in the trailer. If you go and see this in theaters, I think it's a great theater experience. If you've still got time by the time you see this video, go check it out. On the biggest screen you can get. You should go see this movie just because it really is, as far as the visual spectacle, it's good. Okay, so now the improves. This first one is huge. and I'm going to give some thoughts on my final about this in my final statement as well, but there is no Tron, okay? No Tron. The movie's name is Tron. Even in Tron Legacy, people were upset because of how little amount of time that Tron had, but at least he was in it, okay? And he was redeemed. So if you, no spoilers for that movie, but Tron is in that movie for a short period of time. He does some cool stuff. There you go. So that sucks. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. So no Tron, that's a big one though. There's not a lot of depth to the story. So the story does touch on the issue of giving an AI an objective and the AI taking unexpected negative actions to fulfill that objective. And in the original Tron, you had this idea, but yeah, like the Terminator, like other things that you've seen where basically man creates monster and then monster destroys man, right? So there are things that happen in this movie that kind of touch on that, but that is basically the only real exploration of things here that is unique to this movie as far as within the franchise. The first movie really was groundbreaking, and by the time that we're getting to this kind of stuff, there's some interesting stuff that there still is to say about AI, and they're not really saying it here in this one. So not a lot of depth. It does rely a lot on its visuals and action. So and then my third improve is that the story is not at all about any of the Tron or Tron Legacy characters. Again, there is no Tron, which is in itself its own sustain. But then the son of Flynn isn't in it. Cora from Tron Legacy isn't in it. The original Tron actor who plays the user of Tron isn't in it. They basically had an opportunity with it. They have an opportunity with all of these movies to keep that story going and show us more of the world and expand upon what they've already done, but they didn't take that opportunity here, and that kind of sucks. So then moving into my final statement and review score. Basically, this movie is fine. It's not great. It's not terrible. It has some really fun visuals. I had a fun time watching it as far as it being a good movie. Does it have any depth? No. This is, I think, is by definition a popcorn film. As far as a Tron film, absolutely people are going to be like, this sucks. I'm a huge fan of Tron. I want Tron. I want a continuation of the Tron Legacy, Tron Rebellion, I want to say, the animated TV show. I want these things, and again, it sucks that you didn't do any of that. So I can see where Tron people are going to be upset about that. The other thing is, Disney, if you're listening to this, not that you ever would, but if you're listening to this, bring back Tron. You could literally have a trailer where the screen is black, nothing is there, and then all of a sudden blue lights light up, and it's the outline of Tron's body with the light suits, and it just says Tron, and it shows that it's Tron, and everybody would be like, heck yeah, we're here for it. Please do that movie. Otherwise, guys, considering all of that, I'm gonna give this one a thumb up. Okay. Above average. Not 2 thumbs up, it's not excellent. Some people are going to say that it is average, but I'm going to say no. I mean, I did have a fun time watching it, and it held my attention for 2 hours and basically was well acted, and I had a pretty much a good time, even though it wasn't as deep as the other movies in the series. So thank you guys all for watching. Make sure to go check out my other reviews. God bless you all, and have a good day. Don't forget to check me out on Twitch and join the Discord where you can voice chat with me while I live stream, and you won't be recorded or anything on YouTube and Twitch, so that's pretty cool. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram. If you like to read, you can see my after-action reports on my blog. And if you are interested, you can get some merch from my spring store. The links for everything are in the description below.